Zubimendi, Mikel Merino, Noni Madueke, Victor Gyökeres, and Leandro Trossard. Gabby, you get first crack at this. Please tell me what you did not like about this lineup.
Since you know, I'll say the obvious. Moreno in midfield and Trossard. Trossard in no way, shape, or form made sense to start in this game. In no way, shape, or form. I don't even know what was running through his mind. Unless he said I didn't watch the post-match, but unless he said in his post-match that somebody was hurt or like had a niggle or something like that, I can't even rationalize starting Trossard in this game. I don't understand it at all whatsoever.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show, the Arsenal edition. This is your host, Dean, and I am here with Gabby. How are you, Gabby?
Man's just hearing it. Suffer ball, man.
Suffer ball indeed. Suffer ball. We did suffer, but it's not so bad. Coach, you were actually at the game to inhale the suffering. How high did you get?
Don't remind me, man. I was in the match of the day seats. So if you guys are watching match of the day, you'll probably see me as I had the most perfect view of all time for Haaland's goal. So and Martinelli's goal, to be fair, actually. So that's how I'm doing. But as I went through the turnstile today, someone asked me how I am and what my name is. I was like, oh, I'm doing good. My name's like, share and subscribe. And yeah, they were like, oh, okay, I guess I'll do that. And then I showed them our YouTube, and that was it. So that's how my day went.
Thank you. So in case you didn't get that, listener, like, share, subscribe, comment. And maybe, just maybe, I'll respond to you. I'm funny. Gabby?
Definitely like. You know how many likes we got in the last one? On the last instant reaction that he did. We got 15 likes. You know how many viewers we got? In the 400s. Fix up, people.
Exactly.
Fix up.
Exactly.
You just gotta push a button. It's not that hard. Okay, we begged enough, but you get the idea, people. Just fucking do it, okay? Or I'll find you. Before we get into the game proper, Gabby, last week I asked the fellas I was with on the pod what they're listening to lately. What are you listening to lately?
What am I listening to lately? I'm listening to this white man crow sing R&B. And you know what? I don't hate it. Normally I'm a gatekeeper when it comes to white people and black people spaces, but I don't hate it. It's a song called Sophia by Mac Keen. It's a good time. I can't lie. Go look it up on YouTube.
Well, we're glad you shared that with us. We appreciate you trusting us enough to share that very vulnerable interracial activity. But I'm just go ahead and say, if you heard that, listener, just run the pod back. Do not listen to that song. Just run the pod back. Fuck all that shit. Coach, I'd ask what you're listening to. I know you listen to that real hip hop shit. So I know, whatever, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah.
How many niggas got shot in the song you were listening to before you got on the pod? How many?
Oh, that's a good question, man. I've actually been listening to a bit. I've been running back a bit of Vince Staples recently, actually. I'm never ever not gonna listen to Vince Staples. I don't think he wastes a bar. So that's.
Are you depressed or something?
Not even. He's funny, innit? Like,
I was about to say that's a funny nigga right there. I'm sorry.
Not when he's rapping though.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I think his satire and his raps is probably what I enjoy the most. Like, he'll say something like he wants to get really rich so he can buy all these friends guns. Like, that shit's funny.
Okay, this is America. We don't do satire anymore, but let's get into that. All right, enough play stuff. Let's get into this, guys. Before we discuss the lineup today, I'm just going to make an admission. After the game, probably even during the game, I was a little defensive about this because, as I've mentioned ad nauseum on this podcast, I am an Arteta stan to the death. I don't care what he does or what he doesn't do. I'm almost always going to find a way to rationalize back his decision. Yes, I'm just giving the full disclosure. That said, I calmed down. We actually waited a bit before recording today, folks, and I gave some thought, and I thought to myself, you know what? That lineup didn't make any fucking sense. So we start with David Raya in goal. Urian Timber at right back. William Saliba came back in for Christian Mosquera. Anyone have an issue with that before we move on?
No, either of them could have played, and I think it would have been all right. Yeah,
exactly. someone needs to show the last couple games to Saliba's agent while they're negotiating this contract. Like, hey, bro, we don't want you to go, but if you gotta go, it's fine. No, it's not. I'm playing. But just show it to his agent, though. Just do that, but don't. You know what I mean, people.
Yeah.
Gabriel Calafiori, who, spoiler alert, people, that was my man of the match for Arsenal, personally. Calafiori. Rice.
You picked a white man of the match. That's crazy. That's unheard of for you.
I know, but as long as he's not singing to me, it's okay. Zubimendi, Mikel Merino, Noni Madueke, Victor Gyökeres, and Leandro Trossard. Gabby, you get first crack at this. I already know where your issues are, I'm going to assume, but please tell me what you did not like about this lineup.
Well, since you know, I'll say the obvious. Moreno in midfield and Trossard. Trossard in no way, shape, or form made sense to start in this game. In no way, shape, or form. I don't even know what was running through his mind. Unless he said I didn't watch the post-match, but unless he said in his post-match that somebody was hurt or like had a niggle or something like that, I can't even rationalize starting Trossard in this game. I don't understand it at all whatsoever.
You are not wrong. Coach, which of those two decisions, because Gabby kind of skated over the Merino thing, because we've kind of done that before, but which one of those two selections was more confusing to you when you got to the stadium? Trossard or Merino?
Yes, bro. Yes. Yeah. But I just don't. I can't rationalize either of them. Both of them shocks me. But if I have to really, really, really pick, I'm gonna sound hypocritical considering what's gonna transpire on this pod. It'd probably still be Trossard as well, only because I think there's at least history with the Marinos, Zubi, and Rice midfield. Don't like it, don't want it. But the Trossard one, it just felt as if you didn't have to do that. You really didn't have to do that. I get Arteta is very much a senior man and he likes merit and he likes people that work hard. So Trossard will train like the best player in the world all week. Good for you, bro. You're still not starting. You know, that I don't get that. You know, it's purely on merit. It's what he done in the week and it's what he done during the training. That we know that for a fact. But it doesn't mean he should start. You know, so
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Coach. That's where I'm at with it. When I did see the lineup, despite all my pro Mikel biases, I was like, I don't know about that. Because one thing, if it was back in the day when we were choosing just between Trossard and Martinelli, then you can kind of be like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. But when you have Trossard, Martinelli, Eze, Madueke that can play there as well, it's like, in this game, that's probably the last of the options I want there.
yeah.
That said, you know, I think it's just, for as long as we have Trossard at the club, I think we're occasionally going to fall victim to what I call the Trossard cycle, which is basically he comes off the bench, he does well, a couple games in a row, he's probably training well, as Coach said, and Mikel's like, you know what, he deserves a start. Then he stinks it the fuck up.
Against Port Vale. Isn't him against Man City?
Fucking Man City, bro. Even though they suck, which we'll get onto.
Oh my God.
God. Like,
Yo, y'all trying to take Dalman's minutes? What the fuck?
Listen, he can start on the left against Port Vale. Start at center forward against Port Vale. I don't give a damn. Like,
hey, listen, guys. I think the bright side is that I think, you know, Trossard has this reputation for being a little grumpy or whatever. I feel like he will watch this game back, and if he has any self-awareness, he will know that he can't go and knock on Arteta's door for a while now. Like, because we'll get into it, but I personally feel as if, yes, the midfield choices were an issue. However, the bigger issue for me was Trossard being on the pitch, because
we will also get to that midfield choice again too.
Because I got some.
To be honest, I only said Trossard because I feel as if what we're gonna do here is gonna seem like a hate crime. It's not, but we have to spread out the hate one way or the other. So
listen, I got stats to back me up this time about Merino, so we can really get to it.
All right. Despite all the lineup palaver, we did start the game quite well, I thought. I think we pushed City back immediately. We kind of let them know who the boss was. However, I think Gabby doesn't agree with me, but she never really does when it comes to the start of the game. So go ahead, Gabby.
I mean, what do I always say? The one shot, one goal, it always happens against us. You're right. We did start the game relatively well. They scored in the 7th minute or something like that? The 10th? The 9th minute? We just had possession and we were kicking it around a bit. I don't think they really got on the ball, but as per usual, the one moment in which we switch off, maybe a half a second, they're in our box and that's it.
I feel very tempted here. You know, I'm going for it. Fuck it, we'll cut it out. That's what she said. Okay. I'm sorry, people. I can't help myself sometimes. Coach.
Degenerate.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Coach, that goal though, there's a lot of blame to go around, but what from a systemic standpoint went wrong? Because there were so many people chasing back that you can't just blame one person for the goal that Haaland scored, which was a good goal, by the way.
It was a great goal. I've watched the replay back, and the fact the ball managed to move that quickly and that, you know, move through all those bodies that quickly. Somebody take the foul there. Like, someone just kick someone, like, and just stop. Because one thing about Haaland is, which we saw today, is he doesn't care how he looks, if he plays well, if he gets his stats off. He doesn't care. Give him that one chance, it's going in the back of the net every single time. And he did nothing, like Reinders, the entire game afterwards. Nothing. So you stop that, you stop Haaland. Don't let him run into space. We know he's got other tools stuff in and around the box that he can do, but in a tight game like that, he's not going to get those chances. That's the one sort of chance he's going to get. So stop it. Take the foul. We've got 100 players on the bench. Whoever takes the foul, if it's one of the midfielders, get them off for half time then, or 60 minutes. It's not the end of the world. Just take the foul there, because that's the only chance they're getting in the game. Which is, if correct me if I'm wrong, was that the only good chance they got in the game, right?
Essentially, yes.
So take the foul. That's how you stop Haaland. Simple as.
So Gabby, I hate to do this to you. Does this mean that if we're
Do
assigning...
you?
Yeah, I do, because I genuinely do not hate you, despite the way I act on the pod. Your boy Gabby, I feel like that goal is mostly on him, isn't it?
For me, it's on him and it's on Saliba. Both of them. It's on both of them. Gabriel moves up to try to nick the ball away and be proactive. He misses it, and they're away. It's a 2v2. But after that, I'm sorry, Saliba, I would rather you had let Reinders shoot. You cannot leave Haaland open there. That is crazy. He was defending by aura. Like, what is going on? I was like, shift over. And actually, when I watched it back, I literally saw Gabriel, like, when he was trying to race back, he was screaming at him to shift over and cover him. And I was like, that's what you're supposed to do. You gotta cover Haaland there. You just have to. If Reinders shoots and he scores, he shoots and he scores. I don't care. But you cannot leave Haaland open there. I'm so sorry. That is egregious.
Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, while I agree with you on that, I just want to just go back again and say that when those counters happen, I find it hard to blame anyone once the players are running into space, because the initial offense has already happened. So whatever happens after that, it's whatever. He could have went Doku. You know what I mean? Like, he could have went anywhere. So for me,
which would have been better.
Right. Pardon, sorry?
Which would have been better for us. Literally,
anybody but Haaland. It would have been better for us.
Just go hug Haaland. I don't care about nothing else.
But the ball's already moving around in midfield, kind of thing. Just like, okay, this is the best way I can contextualize it. Bernardo and Rodri both stop us countering there. They do 100%. They take the yellow card. They don't care. So while we've
that's assuming they get the yellow card.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's because they get the yellow card, or maybe they don't get the card at all. We probably get a red card if Saliba takes him down there. I'm just saying. But
we get this tag of being, you know, dark hearts SC and stuff like that. The amount of dark hearts I saw today, I'm gonna probably have to read Quran tonight before I go to sleep, because it was really, really horrible what City were doing. But the fact remains is that counter doesn't happen for us if we have the ball there, because City just, like, Rodri is the master of that sort of foul. And because Bernardo is a little rat fuck, basically, and referees barely notice him, he can do 10 of those a game and not get a card. So we need to essentially lean more into that kind of shit. Get Zubimendi. Zubimendi will never get a card in his life. He looks too happy, too harmless. So why isn't Zubimendi kicking the shit out of somebody there just to stop it? You know? So...
Honestly, guys, watching the goal in real time was really confusing. I think for me, as a Mikel truther, I get more upset by us conceding goals than any offensive issues we have. Because I'm like, the whole point of us being Arsenal under Arteta is that we don't give anybody anything. And that was a shockingly easy goal to concede. It was a good goal, but it was also easy because, as you've both said, we're a little naive. We should have fouled someone along the way. then to see Haaland, that's maybe the best hold up play I've seen him engage in his entire career. Like he exchanged passes with Reinders and he was off. And I'm like, between Rice, Zubimendi, like one of you guys has to do something, but it didn't happen. And they're 1-0 up. The more disappointing thing was that after the goal, Gabby, I felt like we lost whatever tempo we had before the goal. It completely went away. And as Coach mentioned, the dark arts kind of kicked in a little bit. Do you think this was more a function of Arsenal not doing enough, or the way Arteta had set up the team? Because we've already mentioned that we didn't like the lineup. Or was it more that City had something to hold on to, so they just mid-blocked us and it was like, here we go again?
Honestly, I think both things can be true. I think in this game, this is the most scared I've ever seen Pep Guardiola against Arsenal. Wenger's Arsenal, Emery's Arsenal, Arteta's Arsenal. This is the most scared I've ever seen him
100%.
play against us. But also, I just don't think we did enough. And in the first half specifically, because we're in the first half still, I don't know if we even had the personnel to do enough. Like, we looked kind of lost that whole first half. And it's not because City were, like, playing as much as we were. We had the majority of possession and didn't do a lot with it. We didn't have any shots in that first half. We didn't have any shots at all.
I counted the first shot. I counted the first shot at 30 minutes, and I think it was a timber header that went over. And the next shot after that I counted was a Noni shot where it got hit onto the post, where I think he either hit the post or Donnarumma pushed it onto the post.
Yeah, the header was a Noni header.
Oh, it was a Noni header. Okay.
After we did a long throw from Calafiori from the left side, then Noni headed it way wide. Yeah. Then the second chance was Noni shooting almost directly at Donnarumma. He probably should have gone far posted, but Donnarumma big as hell, man. He'd be cutting them crosses out a little bit.
Yeah.
I also think that was one of the biggest indicators that we were kind of lost offensively, is that we started doing long throws so early. Like I feel like that's like a last ditch, we are trying to get something, we need to get the ball into the box.
Yeah, but it's look, we know who our coach is. Our coach, probably now we have to admit, respects all parts of the game, but probably some more than others, and a bit more than others. And I think he needs to probably dial it back a bit again, to be honest, because
you think
there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with I don't see anything wrong with the long throws. For me, it's the fact that you're doing that while you're not setting the team up to attack or create consistently. Because obviously we are set up to attack and create, but we're not set up to attack and create consistently from open play. That's where my issue is. The long throws are fine. It's just that where's everything else consistently? That's my issue.
Yeah, I thought when we started planning this recording, I thought I was going to come on here and like defend the lineup, and obviously I've changed my mind on that. But ultimately, what it boils down to me is that when the lineup felt defensible to me, even forgetting the Trossard aspect, because we're about to talk about that next, it felt defensible to me when we're away from home playing tough games in other people's stadiums. In your stadium, you got to show out. You can't pull up looking weak and shit, like, and keep all your creative ballers on the bench, like Eze on the bench. I'm sure City were looking at those guys on the bench like, thank God, And that for me is where the error lies, just from a mental standpoint. Gabby first, then Coach.
I think I was genuinely thinking about it when the lineup came out, because I was like, has there ever been a team that has looked at us and seen, like, the Eze's on the bench, the Saka's on the bench, and thought, I'm still scared of what they got out there? Like, genuine, I don't think anybody is scared of what we have up top. Genuinely. They're scared of how we set up, how they're figuring out how to score against us, because we are very, very good defensively. But scared of them conceding, like, 2, 3, 4 goals to whoever we got up there, I don't think they do. I think that when Pep saw that lineup, he was like, oh, thank God, he overthought this. Trossard's out there, like, Eze's on the bench, and he took Madueke off at halftime, who we were forcing things down the right side.
I think he was injured, apparently. That's what I heard.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, I think he actually...
that 1 in 1 out policy needs to be stopped.
He apparently happened quite early as well, but it didn't look it, because he was getting it over.
You know what? I did think there was a moment, I forget which one of the City center backs, we had played a ball in behind in the first half, and it looked like Noni was going to win the race. And I can't remember who the center back was, but he beat Noni to the ball. And in that moment, I thought to myself, something's off. Because I just thought Noni should win that race 10 times out of 10, and he didn't. So, yeah, perhaps. Because the other part was we'll talk at halftime. But you know what? Let's just talk about Trossard now. Let's just get it out the way. I felt as if, and I could be over-indexing, I'm not trying to scapegoat him or anything. He's been very useful to the club. Midweek, we all saw it against Athletic Bilbao. He has his uses. I think he's a sub. That's what Trossard is at this level of the game. He's a sub, a very good one, an overqualified one even. But that's what he is at a club like Arsenal. However, I felt like there's a lot of balance in the way we play at the moment. I think we're not necessarily feeding the ball right all the time like we used to in the last 2-3 seasons. There's a lot of balance to the play. Even if we still like Noni more, and when Saka, who we'll talk about in a little bit, gets out there, we'll be using him more than the left side. I feel like we're feeding people equally, and it's not easy. I think Arsenal makes it look easy, but it's not easy to build through the thirds on a consistent basis to get through teams, because the whole point of the sport is we're keeping you away from our goal. So when you do the good work to get through the first phase, get through the second phase, and you get the ball to a forward like Trossard, and every time he touches the ball, Kusanov just takes it from him, or he just falls over, or he slips over. A lot of people are slipping today. I think the grass was a little too wet as well, which is also what she said. I'm sorry. I'm having a long day. I haven't had any food today.
I did notice. I did notice chunks of grass just kind of flying in and around players' boots. So yeah.
So is this really, guys? Is this really Arteta's fault, or is it the groundsman's fault? Anyway, back to Arteta and his fuck up. Trossard, I just felt like it's one of those things where, if you've ever played a team sport and you have one of your teammates, and no one ever means to let their teammates down, but if the ball is coming to you consistently and you're wasting the possession, if anything, if I recall correctly, even the goal came from the left side of, the left side of the pitch. That's where they countered from, because we lost the ball in that area of the pitch, probably because the guy we give the ball to out there wasn't securing the ball today. And the other guy was injured. So we're just sort of shit out of luck in general. And I know neither one of you is going to be able to explain why we picked Trossard, but I just found it to be a very frustrating choice. And watching it in real time,
I know why he picked Trossard.
The last 10 minutes of the half, guys.
I know exactly why he picked Trossard. In his mind, he thought it was going to be a super tight game where Trossard's final action could be decisive, which is not a bad plan. The only thing is, City can't defend, bro. They're rubbish. So it's more of an attritional thing than we're working with scraps thing playing against City. You will get chances consistently over and over again. It doesn't matter if you don't put the first one away. That's what Eze's great at. Eze doesn't need much, but if you give him the ball, out of 5 times, 3 times something, a shot is generated. 3 or 4 times a shot generated kind of thing. So you keep giving it to him, or you keep giving it to whoever's on the other side as well. Whereas with Trossard, you're thinking, oh yeah, Trossard's great. He's ball striking, right and left foot, in and around the box, can get you something. Who cares? I keep asking. Genuinely, who cares? Because we're not going to just rely on that one chance. It's City. I keep saying this. This City team. Okay. This is the first time in my life. Not actually in my life, sorry. This is the first time since City have had money, since 2013, where I've looked at both squads and I thought, we're just better than these lot. We're actually just better than them. What they had on the bench was not good as what we had on the bench. What they had to start outside of Haaland wasn't as good as what we had to start, as far as I'm concerned. It just wasn't. O'Reilly at left back, get the fuck out my face. Don't bring him to the Emirates again. That's this is Premiership football, man. Don't take the piss. Do you know what I mean? Diaz is not the same. Rodri is literally limping around. Foden, you're just having a laugh at this point. Foden, for me, Foden has gone down so much in my estimations. It's actually a joke. He's not the same guy. He just isn't. I couldn't believe how anonymous he was today. I kept on remembering he was playing because he was kept on getting around. I was like, who's this short fucker around the ref? And I realized it was Foden. It might have been Bernardo.
I find it funny that you couldn't believe it. Oh, Philip.
I've been telling him about Foden for 7 years now.
Foden stopped being great to me. I think maybe the moment he turned 22, I want to say, because teenage Foden was a fucking problem. Let's be honest here. Since he became, an adult, if you want to say, I think he's just been gash for the most part.
He's had to take on actual responsibility as a senior player. He's been ass.
As an adult, basically, is what I'm saying. But
hey, but you know what? He got 6 kids. It's hard to be a parent. I've heard. I don't know. I don't take care of my kids, so whatever.
Listen,
Gabby,
I know I've never spoken about of Philip Foden with using the PH. That man is Phillip. That's what Philip. I don't know who that is.
that said, they did have one player that I thought was really impressive today, Gabby, and that was Jeremy Doku. It's rare to see Urian Timber look uncomfortable out there, but Doku kind of did make him look uncomfortable today, didn't he?
He did. To be fair to Timber, I mean, he has played a lot of minutes. has not been alive. He lives now because he was on a bench. But I think that he started the season well. I think that like Doku just kind of like really. I honestly, if I'm being funny, I really think those jokes online about him not passing fullbacks that are over like under 30. Is that the joke about Doku that?
Can they talk like this about the born again man? You know they.
I'm sorry. I really think he used to reply to that on like Instagram pages. It's so funny to me. I think he really took that to heart and said, "I need to lock the fuck in." Fair enough. Fair enough.
He was quite good today. I was so impressed, and I've been impressed with him throughout the season because I watch City games. Like I know Coach is gonna come in and shit all over this now, but I mean he has been their best player for me, even if he's not getting all the goals and assists.
Yeah, no, genuinely, he's been really impressive this season. I don't think he was that good today outside of the clever fouls that he won. And Timber wasn't really bothered. Like Timber running back towards his own goal and essentially just shepherding him, like keeping him wide, was fine. It's just Doku's demeanor. It looks as if he's gonna, tear you a new one, but it didn't really happen today. He was just out of City's players. Yeah, he was the best one. But what City players were actually good? I don't think any City players were good today. I actually, if I'm being honest, I don't think anybody was good today. Genuinely.
Well, I'll say as a collective they were because they did limit Arsenal's chance creation. Because
that's more on us, man. I'm sorry.
That's on terrorism ball. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys, but we'll get into it because I think all three of us can agree that first half was a bit of a waste. The lineup was wrong. I don't blame the manager for not changing it in the first half because you run the risk of humiliating somebody and losing somebody, and there are a lot of games left to play. So I understood the patience.
So predictable. Watch, we're gonna go there. We're gonna go there. And to be fair, he was right to a certain degree, but he started predicting passes. It was like, yeah, the ball's gonna go. Watch, it's gonna go from Timber to Saliba. But are you saying going to Saliba? Timber just gives it infield to Calafiori, and that was the funniest shit like of the whole day, to be honest. But yeah, to be honest, when it got to halftime, and then I stepped upstairs just to go for a tiny walk because I was a bit angry. As I'm coming back in, I'm seeing Saka and Eze on the sideline getting ready to come on, kind of thing. Everyone is like getting what's the word I'm looking for? They're getting excited and stuff.
Oh, okay. People are getting because they see the player.
Yeah, because you see it on the screens and stuff.
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, cool. Yes, let's get an early goal. We get an early goal, they go to pieces. Like that's what frustrating. You could literally see it. Donnarumma had a great view of him, and I could just see that the body language, all the time wasting he was doing and stuff like that. You could see that they were worried. We just didn't worry them enough, and
right.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it just frustrates me that we just didn't realize this earlier. And when I say earlier, I mean before the game.
Right. It's this felt like Arteta doing his impression of Steve Bruce whenever he would go to Old Trafford to go play against his old manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, and just go there and lay down. This is like the last time you played these guys, you beat them 5-1. You should have been a little more aggressive. But I wanted to circle back on the time wasting bit. That incident in the first half, we kind of skipped that because the first half was fucking boring.
Yeah.
But when Bernardo, on a yellow card, kind of kicks the ball at Trossard, then Trossard tosses it back at him.
Yeah.
Like, what was the energy in the stadium? I thought to myself, if you remove the context of the way Arsenal fans view refs and the history of some of the shit we've seen happen, or even like last season at the Etihad with the Trossard red that was undeserved in my opinion, I think Atwell actually handled that well because it was kind of a nothing burger. But I feel like an Arsenal player on a yellow card might not get away with that.
No. The ref, because the ref waited until I think the 85th minute to book Donnarumma for time wasting, which was ridiculous. But then also City were getting away with a lot of cynical fouls, as they do. And you don't mind that if you're beating them 4-0, like that's fine. But the fact that they were doing that 1-0 up, just it really pissed me off. A lot of the stuff they were doing today reminded me of the 3-1 that they beat us in 22-23, where it was they were just using all their experience and all of their know-how to essentially just sun us. It's not that they were outplaying us, but they were using every single last bit of experience that they could. They knew every single part of the law. They know all of their thresholds they can do to get away with shit. They know they essentially know what's gonna happen if the ball goes in a certain area. You go down, pretending to be injured. So like all those little things, and that's what they were doing today. You could see that they were hanging on for their life in a sense of, if we don't do this shit, the momentum of this game we won't be able to handle it basically. So let's keep slowing it down, keep getting on their nerves so that they can lose a bit of focus or whatever else. And it was a persistent theme throughout the game, and it makes me laugh because nobody's going to talk about that because of what essentially Arteta served up basically with the lineup. That's the most annoying thing. Like, removing all biases aside kind of thing and how annoyed we are with Arteta, what City put out today was embarrassing. All jokes aside, it was. What they were getting up today was genuinely embarrassing, regardless of what you want to call it, gamesmanship, using experience, stuff like that. You don't have that squad with that manager and resort to that shit. You just don't.
Well,
so
I'm not even sure the gamesmanship was the worst thing they did, because they ended the game with 6 center backs and 2 DMs on the pitch. But no one's going to say shit about that. Not in the mainstream media. On Twitter, people would joke about it, but in the mainstream media, not so much.
No.
That said, I think the substitutions worked a treat. The moment Saka touched the ball, I felt like, I love Noni Madueke, but this is different. This is a real nigga right here. This is my homie right here. Sorry, people. Lower your volume. But the first moment that indicated that, okay, Arsenal are actually here to try to win this game was a Zubimendi shot that I thought should have gone in the net. He put it over the bar. Then 2 minutes later, Eze hit one right at Donnarumma that I thought he should have done better with. He made up for it later. But that said, Eze, interesting sub. I could be making this up, but I felt like he played the role because he came on for Marino. But he sort of played the role as less, I don't know if it was a function of what City were doing, basically sitting back, but he played it as more of a, I can go on both sides as opposed to I'm the right 8. So was it more of a 4-2-3-1 to you, Gabby, or was it more of a 4-3-3, or does it matter? It probably doesn't matter, but did you see?
It doesn't really matter, but I always think it's more of a 4-3-3. 4-2-3-1 is like, as a child of Wenger, that's the OG, the GOAT to the formation for me. When you play with a recognized 10, that could actually drift in between. But I don't think we were actually playing like that.
Okay. Coach, did you sense any, I think, let's just do the Eze performance in general now. Obviously you had the moment at the end, but overall, was it a good performance, or was it just there's more of a threat on the pitch?
I think it was okay. I think it was possible, but again, he kind of reminds me of a striker in a sense, a little bit like Haaland, where Eze is a player that the more time he touches the ball, the better. He's fun, it looks good, and he's effective, right? But he doesn't need to. He can kill you with 2 touches, and you're done, kind of thing. He doesn't need to have all of the ball to affect the game. He just doesn't. It's great that he does because it means you're doing something right, but it's fine if he doesn't touch the ball for 10 minutes. Actually, it's not fine, but you get what I mean, kind of thing. But I thought he was fine. And to me, it looked, the reason why I think it was a 4-2-3-1 today was because, especially when Eze came on the pitch, was because both Rice and Zubimendi were dropping between the centre-backs. There wasn't no recognised left 8. The only time that there was a recognised left 8, if you like, was when it was super late in the game and we literally were camped in their half. So we kind of had to spread out.
Coach, the left 8 is Calafiori, by the way. Just let's be clear about that.
Basically, but
Calafiori was every position.
Yeah,
that's what he was doing.
He's like a horse that's just run out of a barn, basically. So whatever. But it was clear to me at least that both Rice and Zubimendi were just making sure that they covered that space for the counter, because we didn't get counted again for the rest of the game. So Eze, popping up wherever he wanted basically is a good thing. Just give him the ball in the difficult areas. Let him find solutions. With that being said, people want Eze in the middle. I don't mind him in the middle. I don't really care. But being annoyed that, oh yeah, we're not playing him there, when it's like, for most of his career, I'm talking from watching this guy at QPR, watching this guy tons of times at Crystal Palace in the flesh kind of thing. All his good work coming in off from the left. So why do people have a problem with him not being in the middle? It's an option to play him there, but him playing on left, Eze on the pitch is the biggest thing. Just get him on the pitch. That's
it.
all that matters.
That's it.
That's all that matters. Just get him on the pitch. Doesn't matter. But being wedded to the idea that he must play through the middle, I was like, no, he doesn't actually have to. He just needs to be on the pitch.
I feel like people only say that because they didn't want to see Moreno. They didn't want to see Moreno.
They don't like Odegaard more than anything. That's what it is. They want to see someone different to Odegaard. I'm like, okay, that's fine if you want to see that, but get over it because it's not happening. Like, get over yourself. It's not happening. So just make peace with that. But even then, let's say you want him to play there instead of Odegaard. Fine. That's fine. That solves one sort of problem, which I think is probably the carrying problem. But everything else, especially how important it is to our current game model, everything else kind of goes with it. Like, we become a much more easier team to play against, which I don't think we should sacrifice. You know what I mean? I don't think we should sacrifice it.
Yeah, I think what you're sort of hinting at is what I wanted you to get to when I started this thread. Because even though this wasn't a game where Arsenal had to do a lot of defending outside of the goal that we fucked up, I was watching Eze sort of run backwards and press in this game, and I thought he just looked tired to me. He looked tired. Like, when he was on the ball, great, but off the ball, it was not one of his better games. But this was also not really an off the ball game once he came on the pitch, so it was fine. But in the future, I'll be watching for that because we know that's a non-negotiable with our terrorist of a manager. Gabby, weirdly enough, I know we spent the first half of this pod kind of halfway shitting on Trossard, but I thought he looked better in the second half. And I'm not sure if that's him raising the level of his game or if it was because City took off Kusanov and brought on Mateus Nunes. Which do you think was the bigger factor there?
It was probably the second thing. It was probably the second thing. I know Trossard can raise his game, but he didn't do it not in this game. I think he just had somebody who was in somebody's pocket. That person came off. He was like, all right, now I got more freedom. I can play around. I can come inside. I can do whatever. I mean, I think he did look better, but I think the whole team looked better in that second half rather than the first half. Nobody looked good in the first half for me. Nobody.
By default.
To be fair, I do want to be clear. I think our centre-backs were absolutely great today. Not because they had tons of shit to do, but the shit they did have to do, they handled it. The goal's the goal. It happens to anybody. But I'm so pleased that they're showing the world that they're quality, in the sense that Haaland bullies everybody else, but not those two. He doesn't bully them. He just doesn't. Like, some of the stuff he was trying to... He scored. Don't get me wrong. He scored. But the thing is, but that's the danger there. He scored that type. That's the only type of chance he's going to get against our centre backs. All the other moves that he tries in other matches against other centre backs, that doesn't work against our centre backs. It just doesn't. You know what I mean? And that's why you stop the supply. Just stop the supply to Haaland. He's not going to come and drop deep and try to link play and try to ghost into space. He's not going to do that. Do you know what I mean? And the physical battle that he wins against all the other centre-backs, he doesn't win against our centre-backs. He just doesn't ever win. So
yeah, let's do more individual evaluation. Coach and I disagreed on this, Gabby, so you're going to have to decide.
I agree with Coach, whatever he said, because I want to be on the opposite side of you.
I appreciate that.
You don't want to agree
so much. There's another That's What She Said Joe coming just for that. Declan Rice, what did you make of his performance today? I'm not going to bias your thoughts, just generically. How'd you feel?
Honestly, I don't really remember anything that Declan did. I think he had some tidy passes maybe, but he didn't really do anything on the ball. I don't think he showed anything. I don't know. I mean, in the second half, maybe he had started marauding for it a little bit, but he didn't look like he was playing with any urgency for me. I mean, most of the team in the first half wasn't, but in the second half, even at the end, he was just keeping the ball going around and not doing anything. No incisive passes, no getting into the box and trying to get a shot off. No, you know what I mean? It just didn't feel... It wasn't a Declan Rice game. And I don't mean it in a way that, we shouldn't have played him. It wasn't, a game that he showed how good he is.
Right. And how about Zubimendi while we're at it?
I thought Zubimendi was all right. I can't lie. I thought Zubimendi was all right. I actually remember quite a few Zubimendi passes where he was trying to, like, not just keep the midfield ticking, but especially at the end, when he gets the shot away, and granted he should have done better, but, like, he looked like he wanted to score. He felt like he was playing with more urgency. And I know that's something you can't technically quantify. When people say, like, it just means more, you can't quantify that, but it just, you feel it. Like, I don't know how to explain it. You just feel it. Like, when I was watching him, I was like, oh, he wants to win. Like, he wants to get something from this game.
Coach, why do you hate Gabby so much?
No, I mean, I don't think she's wrong in feeling that way or thinking that way. You know, she caveated with the fact that she didn't remember much, which is not a good sign for Declan Rice.
No, when did I say I don't remember much?
You said you didn't remember much. You said you didn't remember much
about Alzheimer's. Oh my god!
You said you didn't remember much. You said you didn't remember much about his performance, right? Which I think is.
Oh, I don't remember. No, I just don't remember anything that he did that I was like, wow, yeah, that's premium Declan Rice.
And that's fine. That's fine. Like it's the game itself wasn't the best spectacle anyway. It's just for me. For midfielders, by the way, he smacked the shit out of Rodri today, just so we're clear. Like, I don't care if he's got one knee. Give that Ballon d'Or back. You don't deserve it. But it's really clear to me that Rice is operating at a level where I thank God every day he chose us. Like, it's that simple. Zubimendi was good, but when your midfield partner has, and let's be clear, Zubimendi is supposed to be the more technical of the two, but Rice had like almost 40 more touches than him today on the ball. Like, when I said to Dean when I was leaving the game that Rice took responsibility on the ball, I had no idea that's what the stat was. But it was very clear to me that he took more responsibility dropping in centre backs and trying to get us up the pitch. Number one. When the ball did get up the pitch, he was there again to be an option, a wide option for players to play into him so he can potentially switch it or look for another pass. And then on top of that as well, the actual plugging holes and making sure that, look, we're not going to be hit on the counter again. It was all Rice for me. Now, it might not be I don't know, what's one of his most iconic performances for us? Maybe Chelsea away 2 seasons ago. Or Chelsea, even maybe, yeah. Let's do that one, yeah? For me, it's very simple with Declan Rice. If he's fully fit, he's going to play well. That simple. He doesn't drop 7.5s out of 10. He just drops 8s for me. Like, it's that simple.
Do you think he was not fully fit today?
No, he was. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. I think he was great today, to be honest.
I have no vested interest in bringing out any of our players, regardless of whatever jokes we make on this pod. But I got to be honest with you, and I'm going to say this was one of the poorer Declan Rice games for me. I just didn't like it. There were misplaced passes. There was almost an own goal when him and Eze were chasing back to stop the Haaland counter in the second half. That would have broken my heart.
You can't blame him for that. That was just
Listen, he's
crazy.
white. I can blame him for whatever the fuck I want. He's a white man. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I know. He doesn't sing R&B. It's cool, Gabby, but don't worry about it. But I don't think he was terrible by any means. He just, for me, as Coach said, he's an 8 out of 10 consistently. Today was more of a 6.5 to me. The best moments from him, for me, were the set pieces. Because even though Donnarumma got most of them, he looked very uncomfortable dealing with them. And
I agree.
On a different day, Calafiori scores 1 or 2 of those because he was just a menace in the box today. Calafiori looked like Gabriel out there today on set.
Calafiori is a menace regardless. He doesn't give a fuck. You want to do whatever you want to do.
I love that kid so much. I love that kid so much. He's the best. Coach, when Nathan Ake came on for Phil Foden, how did the folks in the ground take that? And what did you specifically think Pep was going for? I think maybe it's obvious, but how obvious? Because it's still Pep, right?
I thought he was going to push O'Reilly to play ahead of Ake. That's what I thought. Because O'Reilly's, I don't think he's traditionally a left back. If I remember, I'm pretty sure he's not a left back. In fact,
he's a 10 at youth level.
Yeah, so I thought that would be the play and just have basically what Bayern did to us 2 seasons ago, where they had Mazraoui and the thingy fella. What's his name? Begins with a G.
Guerrero.
Yeah. Basically, I thought that was going to be the case, but no, he went to 20,000 centre backs. So I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
So before you continue, did you think that gave us a better or worse chance to win?
I think it actually gave us a better chance in a sense that straight away we're like, okay, now you've done that. You've actually given us more space in front of you, kind of thing, in the right half space, because you've dropped a player back now. You've literally got rid of Foden completely and sacrificed it, that area. So you're willing to give up that bit of.
Did anything change though? Did anything change? Because Foden wasn't doing shit anyway. So
well, of course not. Of course not. Like Foden, I'm not scared of Phil Foden. Like, I'm just not scared of him, bro. You're not.
I would
scared
hope not.
No, like, I'm not scared of you. Good player, bro, but
He has his haircut like a white man again. So
yeah,
you know,
I'm not scared of you. But to be honest, we were just like, it was just more thinking, oh, okay, so he's really digging in now, because we have to remember as well, as shit's transpiring, like, I'm learning about Pep, because there's this shit I never seen before. So I don't know how to react to it, because I'm like, since when does Pep do shit like this? Like, never. Like, the most left of field shit I've ever seen him do in his career, like, genuinely, was a 3-4-3 he played once at Barcelona, where Dani Alves and Abidal were his wing-backs, basically. Like, it was really, really attacking, but I just didn't think he'd ever go to a 3 at the back. But he did for like a few games.
Didn't he do that against Lyon in the Champions League one time and they lost?
Yeah, but that wasn't a 3-4-3. I think that might have been a 3-5-2, if I remember correctly. It might have been a 3-5-2.
Pep would have
three at the back.
That's weird. It's so weird.
Yeah. So this was new. So I'm like, what's Arteta gonna do here? That's what I think, because I know you haven't seen this before. If I haven't seen this before, Arteta, for a fact, but obviously he's been with him in close quarters. But Arteta, this shit is new to you as well. Like, we're all shocked. And that was my thinking. How are we going to react to this? But we just kept plugging away. So...
Right. So we'd made the subs at halftime, Gabby. Brought on Saka and Eze, who I thought were both useful. Given the context of the game, if they weren't scoring a goal or giving an assist, it's like, okay, we're still not getting exactly what we want. But I thought they were both bringing something different to the game. We looked better. But do you think our level of play improved enough after we made the changes that we all wanted to see? Like, were we good enough after the subs is what I'm asking, I guess.
I thought we were good enough after the subs. But like we for at least for me, we looked like we could score. Like, in the first half, I didn't think we looked like we could score at all, personally. But once they came on, I was like, okay, we're putting a little bit more emphasis on attacking. Like, you can see it's not just having the ball, not possession for possession's sake. We look like we wanted to score, get in their box, get some shots away. And I thought they did a really good job at doing that. I mean, obviously, once Saka comes on, you get to that double team Saka every time, so somebody has to be open somewhere. We were rotating the ball around on the left and the right side. Trossard saw a lot of the ball on the left side, and Saka saw a lot of the ball on the right side, which is what I like. I like a well-balanced wing pairing. But yeah, I felt like we looked better, way better.
Okay. I think Pep's intentions became very clear when in the 76th minute he took off Erling Haaland and brought on Nico Gonzalez. So at that point, I think we were full on.
That nigga was scared.
We're a full on 2 DM, 6 center backs at that point. I've skipped some of the substitutions. But, Coach, do you think we waited too long to make some of our other replacements, like Ethan coming on for Trossard? That didn't happen until, I want to say, the 84th minute was Ethan for Trossard. I didn't think Trossard was doing enough to justify being on the pitch for that long.
The correct answer is yes.
It was the 84th minute. Yeah, you're right.
That was too long, right? He waited too long.
Oh, way too long. One of the key things here, which I thought would have been really helpful, the fact that once again City are shit physically and they can't run, was Ethan coming on earlier and him just, I don't know, running at a one-legged Rodri. You know what I mean? Running at Vardio, who's quite rash. Why not do that? We could have manufactured chances where Ethan just gets the ball in an area where he can just take a man on, where Eze just takes his man on. But again, it wasn't. There's a lot to admire about the humility Pep showed, but I don't care about that because he's literally showing you his paw instead of his claw.
He said he wants to slap his ball.
Yeah, so why not take advantage of it? He's literally conceded to you and said, okay, I hope you guys don't score. I'm showing you guys my hand. And we weren't gone.
Well, I want to say, to be fair, they took off Haaland in the 76th minute. So at that point, you know exactly what this is. And in the 80th minute, we brought Timber off for Martinelli, which I thought was a necessary and good sub, and obviously worked out in the end. But I feel like Mikel responded well to Pep's, because I think initially, like us, when we saw him make the first sub where he took off a more attacking player for a more defensive player, we're like, okay, maybe he's going to move Nico O'Reilly forward, or maybe, we don't know what Pep is going to do, because he's generally seen to be as an attacking coach. Even though if you listen to his statements over the last 2 decades, Pep he's the most conservative of coaches. He doesn't want the ball anywhere near his net. That, like the fact that he's had the best teams and can play tiki-taka and all that shit is a whole different thing. Generally, he's a scared ass coach. He does not want the ball. He wants to defend well. That's his first priority. Then rationally occupy space and all that positional play garbage. But let's just skip to the good part, people. We did not equalize until the 3rd minute of added time. There were 7 minutes of added time. I think that was fair. Probably could have been 11 given the amount of time City wasted, and Donnarumma not getting yellow until the 77th minute. But Gabby, I know you were indisposed when the ball actually went in the net.
Literally, no joke. I'm telling the viewers, if you guys saw my tweet, I'm telling the truth. I literally looked at the clock and said, we ain't fucking scoring. Let me go to the bathroom. And literally when I came back from the bathroom, I looked at the screen and that nigga was sliding into the corner. I said, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, I didn't even get to see the goal or nothing. I just seen celebration limbs and I was like, oh, we scored. Like,
it was nice because at that point, watching the crowd, I could see people were leaving. I could see those empty red spaces opening up. I was like, damn, these motherfuckers. And I'm not going to do the crowd complaint again, but I did feel as if there were points where it's almost as if the crowd at the Arsenal games doesn't watch Arsenal on a regular basis. Because it's like there are certain things the team does pretty regularly. I'm not saying people shouldn't be frustrated, but I'm like, bro, they do this literally every game. Like if a center back is baiting the press, if a center back is baiting the press and waiting for their striker to press so he can pop it around him, why is the crowd going, like we do this all the time? Relax.
I mean, to be fair, I do say a lot. The Emirates has an anxiety about it. Like we do not feel like a cauldron. When you listen to St. James Park or you listen to Anfield or you listen to you can listen to the fucking Yellow Wall. We don't sound like any of those stadiums. We don't sound like any of the, and BBB are ass sometimes. Like they're ass a lot of the times.
The thing is, we have gotten the most annoying thing about it was that we have gotten better, and we still have these complaints. That's the issue. Like it wasn't this good 4 or 5 years ago. It just wasn't.
No,
but
it was bad.
when I'm hearing guys that are literally 4 or 5 different voices in and around me screaming, "Get it forward, do it quicker," blah blah blah. I'm just like, okay, that would be nice, that would be cool, but it's not going to happen under this coach. Not in the way that you want it to. So it's either
your ball is dead for real. I'm sick to my stomach.
No, but it's like it's irrational though, because a player will have the ball who have 2 or 3 players pressing him, so he's been pressed onto his weaker foot, and they're still screaming, "Get it forward." How, bro? Like literally, how do you want him to do that? For me, it's a rational feeling to have.
That meme? Build up, fill squiggly lines.
Yeah,
that's what they want. That's what
basically. But it's like it's a rational feeling to have. Your timing of that of expressing those feelings is irrational, basically, because like you can't even read the context of the game. How can you want him to do a certain action there when it's quite literally not possible? If he does do it, we probably concede a really good chance. So it's just, for me, it's like people are frustrated and they're not challenging in their frustration in the most accurate way, basically.
Yeah, in the most productive way. But it's fair, like people go to the game to let their emotions out. So, I just wish the emotions were more jubilation and elation and not anxiety. Like, because, I mean, they feed it into the players, they feed it into us at home. It's just like home advantage is supposed to be home advantage. You don't when you do that anxiety.
There's no home advantage at the Emirates. Knock that shit the fuck off.
That's a shame. Hopefully we get there someday. I'm sure that once we christen the place with a proper trophy, that would change. I feel like.
Baby.
I hope so. But coach, you were actually there. You said you got the match of the day seats. You actually saw the goal. So just walk us through it. From the moment they called the free kick in our half to Calafiori taking the quick free kick. Take it away.
all I literally saw was the ball in the air and the run from Martinelli. That's like, oh, that's a great run. And it was a split second thing. I was thinking, why didn't Gyökeres make that sort of run? That's literally what I was thinking. And by the time I thought that, he's lobbed Donnarumma, and like it felt like it took forever to go in. So me and the guys
I thought it was going out.
Yeah,
I thought it was going out.
Yeah, so we were just, but to be fair, the angle I was sitting from, it looked like it was pretty much on its way in. But I was thinking, oh my gosh, is Ake going to get there? But it felt like it took an age to get in. But me and like the 5 guys around me, we were just gone silent. So we're just like, and then it's the net, and then we're just going nuts. I lose my hat for about 2 minutes. I don't know where the hell my hat is, and then VAR call comes, and I just get so annoyed because I'm like, you're taking a piss here. Then when we see the actual VAR, we're like, he's miles onside. Why did that take so? Why did you even call it in the first place to have a look? You should have just.
They wanted to give us anxiety. That's what they wanted to do.
But again, it's City sending their brown envelopes to try something. But he was so onside. That's as onside as you want it. It's a bad offside trap, to be honest. Like, so why would you even try to even tame it? That's what annoyed me more than anything. And that took maybe a little bit of momentum from us as well, potentially. I don't know. So,
yeah. The rest of the game was pretty ragged. It was jagged. It was just fouls and free kicks, and that was pretty much the end of the game. But this is, to my recollection, the first time we've seen Gyökeres play the entire game.
Mm.
I think that was a good time to, he has 3 and 5 games now in the league. Gabby, this is the guy you wanted. How are you feeling about him so far? I would say today.
How do you say it like this is the guy I want?
Well, you were the first one to be all in on Gyökeres. Like back when Coach and
I did
were
want
still,
Sesko, but you're right.
Right. When Coach and I were still like, we don't know about this guy. You were already in on him. So he's your guy. He's also our guy now, but he's your guy. And I just want to know, I think today was probably the weakest of his performances. I think there was a free kick in the second half where I thought he just puts his side foot on it and we've tied the game and we probably go on to win it. He missed that. But otherwise, he just wasn't very present in this game. That said, I'd like more of an evaluation of his tenure so far. 3 goals and 5 ain't bad.
Yeah, I would say 3 goals and 5 ain't bad. My problem with us playing Gyökeres up top has always been, especially because we played so many big games already and we know how Mikel wants to set up in a big game. Kai is the end all be all in those big games. He's probably not going to be starting those big games when he comes back anyway. But I will say our issue this season has not been creating enough, especially not been creating enough for the striker that we have. He is not Kai Havertz. He's not very good. In my opinion, he's not very good at holding up the ball and try to play around, coming deep and collecting. He's not that. He's going to run into the channels and he wants to stay in the box in the middle, occupy the center backs and try to get a shot on goal. That's what he wants to do. Right. And we haven't been creating enough for him to get shots away. I think your striker should be getting at least 3 to 5 shots every game, personally. He hasn't been getting that. And to be fair, he did, like we said, he does have 3 goals and 5. Fair enough. 2 of them came in the same game, but whatever.
So
we take those.
I was just gonna ask, because it really just hit me, really hit me, because I'm getting annoyed now. But with knowing Gyökeres' strengths and knowing how he wants to get his chances and finish his chances, this midfield makes even less sense to me now. It just
you don't
does.
Say.
It just does. How are we gonna get the best out of him,
Coach?
How? If we had Isaac in his position, fair enough. I'm like, do you know what? He'll make something happen. He'll get scraps. He'll make something happen. Maybe not for himself, but for somebody else potentially. But maybe for himself as well. We don't know. But Gyökeres is pure and utter, just old school. Between a whip for the goal, I'm your man kind of thing. I can't see it happening with that. I just can't see it. So that's why it confuses me even more.
So here's the thing about that, Coach. Here's my very, very light defense of the lineup, the original lineup when Marino was on the pitch. To my mind, I feel like we're thinking about it the wrong way. Again, it still didn't work, so it doesn't fucking matter. But to my mind, I'm thinking to myself, we're basically playing a 4-4-2 at that point. We're playing 2 forwards. That's how I view it. We're playing a guy that actually can hold the ball up, that can get goals, that does have the occasional, I'm not going to say he's a creative player, that does have the occasional creative moments. If he gets time in the final third to get his head up, he does play really good passes. I've seen them. You've seen them, even if you don't acknowledge them or remember them.
I'm not denying that.
So for me, it's more of a. I just view it as, it's like the budget version of playing Kai and Gyökeres, which I know we're all looking forward to seeing that someday. It's not going to happen for a while, but this is the budget version of that in my eyes. So maybe it's definitely not the most creative, but at the end of the day, we've always created from the wings anyway. So that's our
and you're right. We always created from the wings, but for me, we bought Eze. Do you know what I'm saying? We've fully, bought into Wanyeri. Odegaard is obviously still there. So we have those players, and two of them are on the bench, basically. So we already know that Havertz will make do. Like, Havertz is a really good, intelligent combination player kind of thing. Whatever's behind him, he'll make work kind of thing. Gyökeres is not that. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't depend on him. Personally, I don't depend on him in these games. Like, if we could depend on him in these games, we wouldn't have got him for 55 million. For 55 million, I think it's okay to accept that he might not score against City and Liverpool, home or away. That's fine. I'm not going to hold...
Jamie Carragher's going to come into your house and shake you in the middle of the night for saying that.
Well, do you know what I mean? I'm living in the real world. I know exactly what we bought kind of thing. But, again, with that being said, him running onto slipped balls down the side of defenders, that midfield is not giving you that. It's not. So maybe, we shouldn't have started him. Maybe that would have been better. We don't start him. We play Mourinho up front.
We play Mourinho up front.
Yeah. We play Mourinho up front.
This is where my mind went in this lineup. Just drop him and play Mourinho. You want to play Mourinho up top. Just play him up top. Yeah. Just play him up top.
I do want to say, you guys have sort of damned Gyökeres with faint praise. I do think there's more creativity to his game than you're giving him credit for. I do think he does more things. Like, he's not just a 9. He's not, most of the goal, like, if you think of when he scored against Leeds, the second goal, everyone's like, oh, the Gyökeres goal. That's not the kind of goal just a traditional 9 scores. Like, when a guy can actually run with the ball and finish, he's a little bit more than just.
Oh no, I get that.
9.
I get
got
that.
a little bit more about him.
I'm not denying that. I just don't see that happening against the Cities and Liverpools.
Exactly. Especially when I felt like we weren't going over the top.
Half the podcast calling City shit. If we pick the right lineup behind him, maybe it happens.
Well, this is the point I'm making. It's all compounded. Regardless of how we want to slice it, if we start a more ambitious team, maybe Gyökeres gets you 3 to 5 shots and maybe 1 goal. If we don't start him and we put Mourinho up front and we do play one of Eze or Wanyeri behind him, maybe the game goes a bit differently. Maybe Mourinho occupies the defenders a bit better. Maybe he plays in one of Trossard or Madueke in behind, because I don't see Gyökeres doing that. Which is fine. Again, our squad is our squad for a reason. We want different options, kind of thing. It's baffling to me. Basically,
yeah,
I'm not going to sit there shitting on Mourinho because there's no point. He's a good player with lots of good tools. I just don't know if our second or third or fourth option is him when Odegaard isn't fit.
Listen, I didn't get to do my little stats today, but I'll let Dean go because
do your stat. I don't want you to empty the chamber, please.
I have to. You know that I have to because
I know what's coming as well. But
you probably saw it on Twitter. I can't lie. The damning thing about Mourinho playing in midfield, people always talking about how he plays for Spain. When he plays for Spain, he's playing with Pedri. He's playing with another person who can actually play on the ball. He's not an off the ball. Pedri's not an off the ball player. He's not only an off the ball player. He puts his foot on the ball and he makes a lot of passes. Like, that's just a fact. You playing Declan Rice and Mourinho together. They played together before this game. They played together 9 times. Do you know how many times they've won? They've won once. 3? They've only won 1 game when they played together in the Premier League. They played together 9 times and won once. Like, it does not work. It does not work. I don't know how many times I have to say it does not work. Declan Rice and Zubamendi work. There's that's chemistry that has to build over time. Zubamendi and Moreno work together. Declan Rice and Moreno do not work together. They do not work together.
I know the stat is a stat, but I'm not ready to accept that yet because a lot of the games probably happened when Odegaard was injured, or Saka was missing, or Havertz tore his hamstring. So until
Listen.
we see that combination with the full complement of Arsenal players around them, I'm not willing to say it doesn't work yet. I will also say, let me finish up real quick, Coach. I will also say I think there is scope for Zubimendi to do more. He's never going to be Pedri, but there's scope for him to replicate a lot of what Pedri does for Spain a little bit more. Where if Rice is the one dropping in, getting 40 more touches than Zubimendi in a game, then maybe Zubimendi should be taking a few more risks further off the pitch. That's all. But I think there's, again, ultimately we're talking about a team that's basically undergoing a rebuild right now. Like low key, like yes, we spent a lot of money, but when you spend a lot of money, you bring a lot of new faces in. There's still a lot of chemistry to develop. There's still a lot of pairings to figure out, so I'm not really worried about any of this at the moment. But
It would have been easier if you just went and got Granite to come back. That's back in the Premier League and not with us.
Maybe we should have hijacked it from Sunderland. Maybe
Genuinely, it would have fixed all of. Mikel is trying to. He cannot fool me. He's trying to replicate what he had with Granite with someone else. That's what he's trying to do.
Granit was even scoring headers by the end. Fuck. Okay, we've probably done enough, but before we go, Gabby had let us know before we started this particular pod that she really, really needed to do this. So we're going to give you the last word, basically, and allow you to speak on the fact that your boy from Brazil has now saved our asses 2 times in 1 week. So go ahead and give him his props like you wanted to.
So for anybody who is listening or not watching this pod, only listening, these guys have given me pelters in the group chat because Martinelli has saved our asses in the last 2 games. Not Coach. Coach has some shame. He has some shame. Dean, Mitch, no. They do not have shame.
I have no shame.
Now,
like Mitch, I am a white man when it comes to this matter.
Their guy has been stinking up the joint for 2 seasons in a row. And I have said repeatedly, maybe we should sell Martinelli if you're going to get 2 more players in the attack, which is what we did. We went and got Eze and we got Madueke. One of Trossard or Martinelli has to go. We didn't do either though. Both of them stayed. Fair enough. To protect Martinelli, I think you have to keep him on the bench because he was failing badly on that left wing as a starter. He was failing badly. Now, in the last 2 games, has he played well? Yes, but his role was simplified immensely. Kick and run football. Turn your brain off and just do instinctual stuff, and that's where he's at his best.
Okay, I agree with all that, and thank you for sharing that with us. But I do have one small question. Do you think the result is maybe potentially better for us today if he starts instead of Trossard?
I don't know if Martinelli does that much differently than Trossard does. If he starts, honestly, I don't know. I don't think so. Because he was struggling getting away from Szoboszlai. I don't think he would get away from Kuznetsov either. Personally.
Yeah, it's not so much the getting away; it's the not getting knocked over like a little bitch. That's really what I was looking for there. But thank you anyway. We all love these players, to be clear. The only reason I've ever sort of lost faith, if you want to call it that, in Martinelli is that yes, the performance hasn't been good for like 2 years, but I also thought that to get new players, we had to lose the current players. I didn't realize that there was a world where we could keep all of them, and that's the world we live in. I love this world.
Bernard changed our broke ass life. Who knew?
Hell yeah.
I'll be real though. I've never been on board with selling him just because the goals that he scored this week, and even the assists as well. I don't know if there's anybody else in the squad that does that. And one of the key things here is his speed. Regardless of what we think of him, speed kills, guys, and it's such an important asset to have. All of the best teams have it, man. They all have really pacey wingers. Regardless of what you think about their ability on the ball, being able to stretch teams late in games is a valuable asset. And even when the summer comes, unless we're buying, I don't know, someone
Barcola?
of a similar...
Bradley Barcola.
Bradley Barcola. That's the end all be all for me.
Basically, unless we're buying Barcola, basically, who is a rocket himself, or somebody similar on that level kind of thing, I'm not being funny. Why sell him? If he's okay to be a rotational piece, why sell him? Because we still need that. Regardless of what you think about the player himself, his attributes, we still need it. Regardless of if we're going to keep it with him or replace it, we still need it. So if it gets hard for us to sell him and we're looking for a replacement, don't sell him then. Do what we did this summer. We're going to need those attributes. being able to counter teams is never going to go out of fashion. It's not going to magically stop one day. Martinelli is a fantastic option on the counter when he's when he's getting onto the final pass, not when making the final pass.
Correct. And that's the caveat. I think the 3 goals that the 2 goals that he scored and the assist that he got is all coming basically from the center forward position.
He's literally just been the player that makes the final action. Simple as. Just do that, because tired legs, he's cold as ice finishing. The fact that, he's got a memory of a goldfish, so if things don't go right for him, he's just going to keep going anyway. Defenders hate that shit late in games. They hate it, because they're like, aren't you going to stop? No, I've just been on for 5 minutes anyway.
I guess I said that was the last word, but no, it's not the last word, because I don't think we gave Eze enough props for that pass.
No.
I don't think
sensational.
This is not the moment. The moment is coming later in the season. This is not the moment where we're like, yes, that's why we made that signing. But this was a lovely pass, perfectly weighted. Just loved it. Loved it for him because, again, like we said earlier, I don't think he did a lot in the game to really justify. But, it was still better having him on the pitch than, say, the alternative, who I would not mention because they're making me look bad. Gabby, anything else before we get out of here?
No, man. Bring on Port Vale. I don't want to talk about any more discourse about this game. Bring on Port Vale. And let me see the kids. I want to see Max. I want to see Ethan. I want to see Maslow Skelly. Let's wrap this shit up.
That's what's up. Coach?
I do think we let Arteta off a little bit lightly today, but it is what it is. Like he's smart. He's a smart coach. I hope he learns that these teams are shit, bro. Like, you got Eze and Saka, bro. Blow these fuckers away, man. Like, it's that simple.
Coach, you got to know your manager. Your manager does not learn from anything. He doesn't learn from anything rather than getting slapped. That game a few years ago against Pep where you got slapped 4-1, that is the most important game of his entire tenure. That has changed the way he's thought and played every single big game since. That's it.
Listen, Gabby, every manager worth his salt in the game, in the history of the game, learns more from the losses than from the wins. That's just how it works. He's not special in that regard. But he may be a terrorist, but he's our terrorist. So until that changes, we got his back. All right, folks, that has been Arsenal 1, Manchester City 1. Next game is Port Vale. We're probably not doing a pod for that. I think Coach will probably give you guys an instant reaction.
Yeah, I'll give you one of those.
Thank you. You will see us after the Newcastle game, which I feel strangely confident about. I don't know why, but I feel very good about this. What?
God, I hate St. James Park.
I hate it, but I feel good about it. I really do.
I'm gonna wait and see. Basically,
get out alive. That's all I care about. No more injuries. I don't care.
No injuries would be wonderful. No injuries.
Well, on that note, you know what? Tell the people.
Fuck Chelsea.